Okay, so we're back here, and I fixed my knife here. There's a problem. This bent here, and I pulled this out and took the whole thing out. But anyway, you always want to use a sharp blade because it'll save you a lot of time in the future and prevent future work. So the new radiator is gonna come up to probably right there. So I know that there is some loose stuff here, but that'll be covered up. But the main part is wanted to clean up this area here. Now, if there are any areas where it's not sound, it's not tight, where this brown paper isn't glued, and if there are air bubbles or anything like that, so let's just say that this is an area here that's still kind of loose, and a way to tell is to tap it, and you'll notice a difference between that and that. This is a sound surface and this is loose, and you'll be able to hear it. So let's just say that this was an imperfection here. What I would do is I would just cut out in a football, and I know that it's not up here, but I would go around the same way there, just create an arc and just tear that away there down to an area like this where it's sound. Now this is loose here, so I'm just going to come out and do an arc up and then peel this back here. So we're down to this surface here. Okay? So it's very important to get rid of all those, because if you don't, you're going to mud, you're going to prime and mud on top of it, and it's still going to be loose, and you're still going to be able to see a hump, and it's not going to look good. So you definitely want to take care as many areas that are loose as possible, or else the finished end product isn't going to look right. So I'm going to put this knife down here, and now we're going to seal in this brown paper with this product here called Gardz. It's a water-based glue, and it absorbs into this brown paper and dries hard, dries to a water, or to a water. It creates a vapor barrier so that the water and the mud can't get in there, and so it won't rebubble again. So you can either use this, or you can use an oil-based primer. You don't use a latex primer because the water will just make that ball bubble up again. So this stuff right here, as you can see, it's milky and it's like water. But because it's like water, it's able to penetrate through the surface and get in there and lock down the paper again. So when you use this stuff, you have to be careful because the water will, if you turn your brush upside down, and it starts to fall here. So when you're using this stuff, always keep your brush down. What I do is I just load it up halfway like that and let it drip back down into the bucket. And so always have the tip facing down, because if you go up, then it travels in there and then it gets all over your hands. So if you want to be more clean about it, and when I paint, I never do this, but wipe off the sides here, or in the two edges, then transfer it to the wall and turn it around. Okay? So I'm just going to do that, and then turn it around like that, and then go back. And as you can see, it kind of turns the face of the drywall, the brown paper, to a light purple at a first, but this stuff dries clear. So we'll just go down to there. And this stuff dries very fast too, so we're going to get this on first before we mud. Now, if you just try to mud just right on top of this brown paper, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. By doing this, you ensure that everything in the future is going to work right. And when I'm brushing it in, I'm kind of working it into the brown paper, because you want the water to act like the vehicle to get the glue pigment into the paper, so that when it dries, it seals the surface and it locks down the surface. I'm just going to need one more here. Okay, so one coat should do it, and we're just going to let this dry out for like a half hour, and then we'll be back to start to skim coat both this area and down here. So we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so we're back here now, and I've given this a few hours to dry out here, and as you can see, okay, we're back here, and we've given this a few hours to dry out here, and as you can see in here, it has dried to a sound surface. Now this is hard here. Now what you want to do is you want to like look down the side of it, and if there's any ripples, that means that there is a loose area there. So what you got to do is just take your knife again, go around, like cut like a football around that area, and then use the edge of the knife to tear away those areas, then reapply the guards, wait a few hours, and then skim over it. But since there aren't any areas here, we can move on to the next step. So I'm going to put this knife away here, and now we're going to get to this patch here. So before we can skim this, I just want to use this 4-inch blade right here just to shave away any tight spots or any areas that could flake off and get into my new joint compound and create a scratch. So just take this and wipe it down the surface, and there's not many here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and I have bought a new thing of joint compound here, and as you can see, this is what it looks like here when it's new. So this is right out of the bucket here. It's kind of stiff, but I want it to be stiff. I don't want a lot of water in it because I don't want it to shrink that much. So what we're going to do is I'll just grab a little bit more here. Okay, I'll put this in there like that. Now, since my arm is in this sling here, I can't really use a hawk, so I'm going to use this 12-inch trowel as my hawk, and I'm going to work with my 6-inch taping knife here. So I'm going to reposition it like that to like the middle. I'll do it once again, so I have it on that, and I transfer it to the middle here. Okay, so now I'm going to switch hands here, and I'm going to bring this to like the back side here. Now I put it on like the wrong edge here. Since I'm working on the back side of the trowel, I want this on like the other side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this here to that side there and put it right in the middle there. So it's in the middle there. I'll give it a little shake so it stays like that. And now we want to fill in this area right here. So I'm going to transfer this. I'm going to come down a little bit further and go up with it. And as you can see, it has, now I kind of skimmed tight there, but since this is the high spot and that's a high spot, you can see where it filled in there. Okay, I'll bring it down just a little bit more and go up with it. Okay? Now I'm not going to worry about that edge there or that edge there. I want it to fill in that to create a smoother surface. So it's like that there. I'm going to bring it down to here. Now this socket here is going to get in my way, so I'm just going to be careful and I'm going to stop it there. And as you can see, that filled in there. There are some fish eyes and stuff like that, but don't worry about that. It's like that there. I'm going to bring it down here, come up with it like that. I'm going to turn this around to the here and work it like that. Now I'm going to clean this off here and bring this here and kind of work that down there and skim hard. I'm going to clean that off there and come up with it and then come down with it. Okay, so that has filled in that area there. Now I'm going to clean this off here and reposition this to the center here. So once that is filled in, now we can start to work on like the outside part of it. But before we do that, I'm going to load up just a little bit more here. So back here we come. Okay, so now we want to fill in these two edge areas here. So again, I'm going to transfer this to that side of the blade there. So it looks like that. And I'm going to start from the bottom here. And I'm going to work, I'm going to just put the mud a little bit over there. Okay, so I'm going to start down here and go up with it. Okay, now when I did that, I kept the pressure on the left-hand side almost to where this orange line was, so that it would leave a lot of mud here. Okay, so I filled in the area, and you can see all the fish eyes and stuff like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back down here, go up with it, borrow some mud there, and I'm going to bring this lower here. Okay, I'm going to do that little jiggle of the wrist there. Now I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to keep the pressure on the left-hand side going up that line right there. I'm going to reorganize this here to the middle, and now I'm going to clean off my 6-inch knife here, and we're going to feather this side here. And there's not much to a feather here, as there's like nothing to do there, but there's a little edge here. So I'm just going to press hard on the right-hand side there, and that's going to take away that. Now I would normally swipe the whole thing, but since there's nothing there, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to transfer the mud to this blade right here. Now with my clean trowel, I'm just going to come from the bottom and go right up fast. Okay, and as you can see, that is what it looks like there. Now there's a line in it. I'm not going to worry about it because this is going to get some more coats. The line goes right to there, but that's fine. We brought the mud out there, so that should take care of that. Now I'm going to come around to this front side one here, okay? And I'm going to kind of move the mud a little bit over here to my right hand, and I'm going to come up with it. Okay, I'm going to reorganize it. I'm going to put one there and then move this over to here. Start down here, go up with it, come back down. And we're not going to really worry about spilling stuff on like the floor because it just comes right up here. So I'm going to clean this off here. And again, we're going to taper off this left-hand side, so I'm going to put the pressure on the left-hand side here. Okay, and then transfer the mud to my blade, and then come up here. I'm going to keep the pressure to the right-hand side, almost to stay on there. Okay, so I'm going to transfer that there, put this to the middle there. And now I'm just going to use my 6-inch knife here just to work in these areas here where I couldn't get with the trowel. And don't worry about creating too much of a mess. Okay, so there is that area there now. To get rid of that, I can just come like that. And just very lightly do it like that. Again, you can just let this dry. This isn't a big deal here. So that's going to take care of that there. And now I'm going to work. We're going to practice filling in this stuff right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the right-hand side of it here. Like that. Come over here and go up and turn it. Put it like that, and then reload it again, and then just slowly work my way across. I'm going to stop there because I came in with the trowel there. So now by doing this is going to make it smooth here. I'm going to use mud here to fill in this. I'm just going to get some more mud here. Clean that off, loads up the right-hand side there. And again, when I'm doing this, I'm keeping the pressure to this side here so that it leaves mud in there. And now for this, I'm going to load up the left-hand side and come up. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to feather off the top here. So I'll put the pressure to like the left-hand side here. And that feathers that off, and then I'm just going to come down straight there. You don't worry about leaving a line there. So I'm going to feather this off here. And I took a little bit away, so I'm going to kind of put that back there. And I'm going to come into it and do like a circle there and then go forward. And we'll just clean that up there. Kind of clean that up there. And I'll do the same thing. Okay, so that's going to take care of that. I'm going to move over here and do the same thing. I'm going to put the pressure to the outside and do a half a circle. That's going to feather it off there. And then come down to a circle to leave it like that. And come once more there. Okay, so as you can see, that's the first coat there. And we're just going to let this dry out here. And we'll be back to do another coat.